This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
I am Mike Galligan with the law offices of Galligan and Newman in McMinnville, Tennessee. I support WCTE, the Upper Cumberland's own PBS station, because I believe it is important to create entertaining TV programs that also promote lifelong learning and understanding. When I support WCTE, I know that I am helping our Upper Cumberland community for generations to come.
The law offices of Galligan and Newman provide clients with large firm expertise and small firm personalized care and service.
You never think that you'd be on that kind of stage, and if you are on that kind of stage, it's almost like, you're opening up for somebody else, and
Right.
to actually be, the person that all these people came out
That's right.
to support, and everything else was really special.
Jake Hoot, this is a hoot. This is so great.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm so excited to be here with you and for our viewers to have a chance to see you up close and personal. You are a contender on The Voice.
Yes, ma'am.
NBC's The Voice. And you're from Cookeville, Tennessee.
Yes, ma'am.
You're a dad, you're a singer, songwriter, you're a football player, which is pretty obvious.
Yes, ma'am.
At Tennessee Tech. But you've had quite an interesting life for a young man, and I just am so grateful that you're taking this time.
No, I appreciate y'all asking me to come out and be a part of it. It's really cool.
Well, you didn't grow up in Cookeville, so tell me a little bit about yourself and kind of how your trajectory got you here.
Yes, ma'am. So I did not grow up in Cookeville, but Cookeville is home. I've lived here for probably 10 years now. My parents were missionaries, and so we grew up, and before we moved overseas, we traveled to a lot of churches around the U.S. And then we moved over to the Dominican probably when I was around 7 or 8 and lived there for about 11 years before I moved back to the U.S. And I moved, the sending church for us was in Carthage, Tennessee. And so I moved back there and worked for a little bit, and then it was between Cumberland and Tennessee Tech. And so I went and visited both programs, and there was just something that drew me to Cookeville. And so moved up here and went to school, played football. I was one of those students that always said, as soon as I'm done, I'm leaving, I'm traveling, everything else. But as I got older and, I realized just how great this area is, it's become home. And so I'm very fortunate to be, to say that I'm from here and that everybody around here's kind of embraced me as one of their own.
Oh, absolutely. I think, we just feel like you are our hometown guy. And I know you've got a lot of followers. I mean, you have a lot of people you already had a lot of people here.
Yes, ma'am.
But The Voice, and you're on Team Kelly. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Kelly Clarkson.
Yes, ma'am.
It's exciting. Yeah. I saw you recently. I've seen you perform a lot. I've seen you perform at Red Silo.
Thank you for coming out to those. Yes, ma'am.
No, you're more than welcome at Spanky's, lots of places.
Yes, ma'am.
And before, you had a following.
Yes, ma'am.
But then, after The Voice, there was a big downtown concert, and my goodness, it was like Garth Brooks had showed up.
Oh, man.
What was that like?
First off, I can't tell everybody thank you enough who's always supported and come out to shows and stuff. And I've probably been playing this area for 6 or 7 years, and there's been a lot of people that have not only come out and financially supported, but also taken time out of their schedule. And so I'm always very grateful for all that. But yeah, definitely after the episode aired, social media, there was a huge spike and all these new followers and stuff. And then a bunch of people here locally wanted to do a show in Red Silo. I was actually scheduled to play there. And so Elijah and a couple other people, they had the idea, well, what if we open it up, and just make it a big concert out on the street? And up until that night, I honestly thought, I was like, y'all are taking all this time and all this effort, and there's only going to be a couple hundred people that show up, which is totally fine. I'm fine with that. But once I took the stage and I looked out and I saw it was packed all the way down the street and everybody that had come out, and it's definitely very humbling, just because you never think that you'd be on that kind of stage. And if you are on that kind of stage, it's almost like you're opening up for somebody else, and to actually be the person that all these people came out to support and everything else was really special.
That's got to be a change, though, because what I noticed when you finished is everybody kind of wants a piece of you. They kind of want to see you and talk to you and have that moment. How different is that for you now?
I think it adds a little stress, more along the lines of rather than not wanting to do that. Because I mean, the way I look at it is, if people are taking time out of their day to come to a show, first off, I want to be able to perform the best I can and give them a cool experience. But then, the very least I can do is if somebody comes up and wants a picture or an autograph or anything, that's the very least I can do. But it has been different, especially here in the area. Like we went to Walmart last night, and there were people like pointing and stuff, and a couple people actually came up, and I got pictures with their kids and stuff. And so it's very humbling. I never thought in a million years that I would be that kind of a person that people would want. But very humbling and very cool, and I'm very appreciative for it.
So you're hard to miss, right?
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
You're a little tall.
Yes, ma'am. 6'6".
I love that.
Yes.
So you're kind of this larger than life guy, but you're so humble and you're so genuine. Is that part of being the son of missionaries and living in a lot of different places? Can you tell me how that shaped you?
Yes, ma'am. I think that definitely plays probably the biggest part. I'm very grateful to my parents, the way we were raised. And growing up on the mission field, whether we were starting churches or we were helping with medical groups or construction groups or orphanages or whatever it was, Dad and Mom both, we always took the approach of, it's about others and it's about helping others and giving of yourself to help others. And so I think growing up that way, it definitely helped, just because you learn a different way of life, and you learn that there's people out there that are way less fortunate than you. And so I've been very blessed in life. And so, the very least I can do is try to give back a little bit.
You learned to speak Spanish?
I did, yes, ma'am. I'm not as fluent as I used to be, but we learned playing like dominoes and different games in the streets and stuff with the kids. And at that age, it was easy for us to pick it up and just kind of learn it. But we learned a slang form of Spanish.
Yes.
So anytime I talk to people, they're like, oh, you're from, you learned it in the Dominican or somewhere, and so, but yes, ma'am, I actually sing a couple songs during my shows in Spanish, and so just trying to, spice it up a little bit or whatever.
That's great.
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is so great. So who would you say is your inspiration?
My inspiration is probably my daughter. I know it's my daughter. Her name is Macy Lynn, and she's 4. And she's just my driving force behind everything I do. You always want to be able to provide for your kids and raise them the right way, and put God first and make sure that they, know it's always better to help others and do things. And so, at the end of the day, I always tell everybody, they say, well, what's your end goal with music, or what's your end goal with whatever you do, and my end goal is always just to be able to better provide for her and take care of her. And now I'm in a relationship with a girl, and she's got a 4-year-old as well, 4-year-old little girl Hadley. And so, now there's more to provide for, and I couldn't be more blessed and more happy.
So that's exciting, and
Yes,
had to
ma'am.
be exciting to have them watch you perform on
Yes,
The
ma'am.
Voice. We're going to watch a clip of that, but before, can you kind of set this clip up? How did you get to The Voice?
Yes, ma'am. They reached out to me back last year, and their social media team, they had seen some of my videos on Instagram and Facebook. And so they asked me if I would come to Nashville and do the audition when they had the audition there. And honestly, at first, I thought it was fake, and I sent back not a mean email, but I was like, I don't know if this is real, and turns out like it was legit, and went there and auditioned. And then there's a couple other audition processes that you have to go through before you even get to the blind audition, and it's a multiple month ordeal where you're traveling a lot. And so luckily enough, I was able to make it through all those rounds, and I think there was originally like 40,000 people that auditioned. And so to get in that small pool and be considered to go back out and be part of the blind auditions was really special. And so, yeah, got out there. We were out there for about a month prior to the blinds, and I was able to get a spot on stage just because I think there was over 100 or 150 people it was kind of narrowed down to, and there's only 48 slots total. There's 12 slots per team. And so there's a lot of great musicians that didn't even get a chance to step on the stage before everything was filled. And so I was able to do it, and here I am a couple months later, and so it's been really special.
All right, let's take a look at your blind audition.
Sunday morning, man, she woke up fine. sending on and on and on about the time I had. And by Tuesday, you could say that girl was good as gone. And when Thursday came around, I was all alone. So I went for a drive to clear my mind, ended up at a Shell on I-65. Then I won $100 on a scratch-off ticket, bought 2 12-packs and a tank of gas with it. She swore they were a waste of time, all but she was wrong. And I was calling number 5 on a radio station, on a 4-day, 3-night beach vacation. Deep sea senorita fishing down in Panama. And I gotta see my ex-future mother-in-law. Oh Lord, when it rains it pours. When it rains it pours. When it rains it pours. When it rains it pours.
Welcome to The Voice.
What is wrong with you?
I couldn't tell if you blocked me or not. I couldn't see.
I know I tricked you.
I'll be damned if you're going to block me.
I wanted to turn around in the very beginning, but I knew he was going to do it. And I was like, do I need my block? Do I need my block? And then I didn't use my block, and I got him.
You didn't use it.
You didn't use it? I didn't use
Bull
it.
crap. Yes, you did.
I
Yes, you
didn't.
did.
Ask the producers.
Tell us your name and where you're from, my friend.
My name is Jake Hoot, and I'm from Cookeville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
All right, Jake. Welcome to the show. You're on Team Kelly, and that's
Yes.
very exciting.
I know
I'm shaking.
you probably
Thank you.
wanted Blake, but this is a better home, I promise.
Thank you so much.
You sound like Ronnie Dunn. I'm so sorry I keep interjecting. I'm so excited.
He's incredible. Thank you very much.
Go ahead, John.
I thought it was a good performance, Joe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, Jake. What I loved about the performance was just the entrance. It was so like electric and loud and powerful. And now that I see you're gigantic, it makes more sense. I was like, wow, that is a very strong voice. And
How tall are you?
I am 6'6".
Dang.
Maybe an inch taller than Blake.
Damn it, I wanted to be the tallest.
Dude, I love country music. I cannot wait for you to be on my team. Let's work together. You're
Thank you so
stellar.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
She does love country music. She just doesn't know anything about it.
Oh
But
my
I know
gosh,
you're going to be able to
son.
teach her because I can tell that you're the real deal.
Thank you very much.
I know you used your block button.
I didn't. I still have my block button and I get him.
Doesn't matter. Congratulations,
It's
buddy.
awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jake.
Thank you so
Welcome to The
much.
Voice.
Daddy. We have team jackets. I'll get you a taller one.
I'm gonna need a big one. Thank you so much.
Wow, okay, that is so intense and exciting. And I just have to ask you, how did you even continue when Kelly flipped around?
I think I had rehearsed it so many times prior to that it was just like habit at that point, because I tell everybody I blacked out. I don't remember what was said. All I know is I could say thank you very much, and that was, all
That
of
was
what I
it?
could say. Yeah, but like you try to, like you go out there and they tell you, don't focus too much on the chairs, and that's what I had to tell myself is don't focus on the chairs, because there's a huge crowd out there that's listening. As soon as I started playing, they all stood up, and so I was kind of feeding off that energy.
Right.
While also, shaking like a leaf. And so once she turned, like I looked at her for a second, I was like, I can't believe that's happening, but I'm just going to try to finish up, and so
Yeah.
it was a really cool experience.
And I know there was kind of that battle between Kelly and Blake, and you and Blake probably are very similar in many ways in size and song. And so how was that of a challenge for you?
I think I went in there thinking, if Blake turns, and there's, I'm fortunate enough to get another chair, I'm going to go with Blake.
Mm-hmm.
And being there on that stage, and having just Kelly turn, at the time, like I said, I was kind of in La La Land
Right.
anyway. But hearing them go back and forth about, you blocked me, this and that, at the time I was like, is this just part of TV? Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
And then turns out that they had both blocked, he and John had blocked Kelly earlier on. And so
Right.
it made sense once I saw what was going on. But
Right.
it was a surreal moment. And like I was telling somebody earlier, is Blake said that I was the real deal. And I didn't catch that I didn't even catch that the first time I watched the episode. And so, like, somebody told me that, and I had to rewind it, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, that's, for somebody that at that level to say that was just really special, just because I respect Blake Shelton, to still do what he's doing as
Right.
long as he's been doing it is an incredible thing. So that was a big moment.
Well, I was excited about it, and I really like Kelly Clarkson too, and I think she is rocking it with the daytime show, and
Absolutely.
she's got, you know, so to be on her team, I think is going to be really incredible.
Yes, ma'am. No,
For you.
it's worked out great. I mean, I don't think it could have worked out any better. She's high energy and very, you know, and for somebody to have gone through the American Idol
Right.
thing, and then, you know, be as long as she has been with The Voice, she's very knowledgeable, and she knows, she's got that knowledge of actually being a contestant. And
Right.
so she knows, you know, both sides of the coin. And so being able to work with her and her energy, and honestly, just her talent, like, she could sing any genre she wanted to sing and be super successful. And so, and her ties with country music and everything else, between her husband and her mother-in-law and everything else, like, it just worked out perfect.
So why did you pick that song?
I picked that song because primarily I love Luke Combs. I love the style of country music that he's kind of brought back, which is that 90s feel. And he is just, he doesn't care about being, you know, pretty. He doesn't care about what people think and stuff like that. He's just, hey, I'm here to play music. And I think that's really shown right now, because he can't put out a song that doesn't go number one. It doesn't seem like. And I think people just want that because he's real. He's, you know, and so I love that song. And I figured if I was going to be on that stage, then I might as well come out with something that was going to, you know, be high power and high intensity. And that's how it came about.
So Jake, you're doing your own songwriting, and so where does that inspiration come from?
It comes from every area of life, I feel like. I've been writing songs for probably 10, 12 years, but more seriously here in the last probably 2. And I had the privilege of meeting big-time songwriter Dave Pahanish, and, you know, he luckily sat down with me and we wrote a few songs, and it's been a great experience. But that's the step that's the level I wanted to get to, is, you know, I love doing cover songs and I love being able to sing other people's songs and kind of making them my own, but I wanted at some point to be able to put my music out there and have people singing, you know, stuff I wrote. And so I write from going through heartache to, you know, being a dad and everything else. And so I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of great writers that have kind of taken me under their wing and showed me some really cool things.
And you put out your own EP, right?
I did. Well, I've got it funded, and I've got it all just on the back burner. While I'm with the show, I can't release anything right now, but it's ready to rock and roll. And I released a single that is out there on iTunes and I think Spotify and maybe a couple other places. But yeah, the rest of it's ready to rock and roll. And hopefully, I'm looking at early 2020 to be able to release that.
So what do you think is next for you? I mean, we know The Voice is next for you, and it's on Mondays and Tuesdays on NBC.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're very grateful to them for letting us show that clip. And but beyond The Voice, what's next for you?
I think eventually I would absolutely love to be able to do music full time, but also at the same time, you know, being a dad and I want to be around. And so, you know, I think ultimately my goal is to be a full-time songwriter. I love to perform. I love being on stage, and I love what I do locally here. But I think be able to do that full-time and be able to provide and, you know, have a consistent paycheck coming in and stuff like that. But right now, I mean, right now I'm just enjoying the ride, and I'm seeing where it goes, and it's already opened so many doors. And, you know, I'm very grateful to people like you guys that you know, asked me to be a part of this and everything else. And so it's been really fun. I look forward to what comes next.
Well, we're so proud of you. And you know, I think you came from Texas. You've lived all over the world, really. You've made Cookeville your home. You know you're going to get pulled by people to want to make some other place your home. How's that going to work?
I mean, I'm pretty stubborn. So, I mean, I'm very hard-headed, and that's one thing that, you know, I will admit as one of my faults. You know, I'm very stubborn, and, you know, I'm very grateful to everybody here in Cookeville. And so, you know, if somebody else wanted to claim me as theirs, you know, it's just not going to happen because Cookeville's home, and they've been great to me and great to my family, and everybody's kind of taken me. Even back when I was going to tech and you're living off nothing, there's people that would kind of bring me in as their extra son and stuff, which was an expensive bill to try to feed me, but I'm very grateful and very, very fortunate to be able to say that I'm from this area.
So I want you to tell me, I've asked you to play a song, and,
Yes, ma'am.
and we've got about 5 minutes to roll out of here. And so tell me the story behind this song and kind of set it up for me and where people can find this even.
Yes, ma'am. So this song is called Better Off Without You. It's actually the first song I wrote with Dave Pahanish. And it came from, I had gone through a divorce a couple years ago, and whether it's going through a divorce or a breakup or whatever, you go through this period where you're in this like dark place, and you're trying to, you second guess yourself, and you second guess whether or not it was the right decision to either, walk away or move on. And so this song just kind of talks about, how you finally get to that place where it's like, hey, I'm in a place now where I can say, hey, I'm better off, and so it was our first song we wrote. I used some of my passion and my hurt to write it, and he used some of his that he had gone through, and so it just kind of came together, and it's the title track from the EP that'll be out, and so it's on, like I said, it's on iTunes, Spotify, and I think Amazon Music, and I think YouTube. So if anybody hasn't heard it, please go on there and give it a listen.
And what's the name of it?
Better Off Without You.
And as we go to that, I want to remind people that you are on The Voice as a
Yes, ma'am.
contestant, and people can tune in. It airs on Mondays and Tuesday nights on NBC. And how can fans around here really support your rise on that show?
Just keep watching. They don't tell us anything of when we'll be on and whatnot, but we're in the battles right now, and so as it just goes on, just continue to watch, and of course go follow me on my Instagram or Facebook at Jake Hoot or Jake Hoot Music. And definitely just shoot me a message or whatever. I try to keep up with everything, but yeah, just continue support, come out to shows and whatever else. But I'm very grateful for everything I've had so far.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
So let's hear you play that song.
Yes, ma'am. Man, this loneliness is tearing me apart. I wonder what's holding together this broken heart. Don't know what's up or down. Can't tell sight from sound. And I can see the thunder and hear the dark. When it's plain to see I'm better off without you. Strange to think how much I've allowed you to get inside my head, twist every word I've said, made me feel like I was in the wrong. You had the right to turn my world around. That's all right. Better off without you. Better off without you. Now the dust has settled, it's clear to me. Things were never what they appear to be. All the lies you told, like you were only mine to hold. Should've known all along you were bound to leave. When it's plain to see I'm better off without you. Strange to think how much I've allowed you to get inside my head, twist every word I've said, made me feel like I was in the wrong. You had the right to turn my that's alright. Better off without you. Better off without you. Better off without you. I'm better off without you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Man, this loneliness is tearing me apart. I wonder what's holding together this broken heart. Don't know what's up or down.
I am Mike Galligan with the law offices of Galligan and Newman in McMinnville, Tennessee. I support WCTE, the Upper Cumberland's own PBS station, because I believe it is important to create entertaining TV programs that also promote lifelong learning and understanding. When I support WCTE, I know that I am helping our Upper Cumberland community for generations to come.
The law offices of Galligan and Newman provide clients with large firm expertise and small firm personalized care and service.
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.